Hi, my name is Kim Smallheer. I am a plant care specialist here at the Tye-Dyed Iguana. I've been in that position for about 3.5 years. You'll notice when you come into the store that we have a wide variety of plants because people will not only buy an animal, but in many cases they'll set up that animal environment with plants, or they'll just come in to get plants for a terrarium. So it's important that we have a wide variety of plants, that we have different plants, that the plants are healthy, that they're pest-free, that they're well-watered, that they're vibrant and necessarily trimmed or pruned back, so that when somebody comes in, they're going to find a high-quality plant that they'll be able to use in their pet environment. So I have been here for coming up on 3.5 years. I started several Januaries ago. It was winter time when I first got here. Matt had looked for somebody to help with the plant care as we were starting to expand the amount of plants that we had. And right at that point in time, that plant care was being done with a animal care specialist as well. And as we grew and expanded, it was getting a little bit more difficult. So 3.5 years I've been working solely in the plant care world. Actually, I am in a petless environment. I don't spend a lot of time at home, whether I'm here or whether I'm out and about. I just don't have the time to devote to a pet. Not that I couldn't have the time for like a fish or something like that, but I'm a dog lover, and I like big dogs. I'm not really a fan of those little rat dogs. And I've had big dogs over my lifetime. In previous life, Labrador Retrievers, just, smart dogs, lovable dogs, great temperament dogs, but right now I am without a pet, so I have nothing to show you. So I don't have a pet to bring in for show and tell. I feel really bad about that. And if I would have known ahead of time, I could have brought in my bicycle, but I didn't. So I have my car. I don't know how many guys that you have interviewed that have showed you their car. So I will show you my car. It's a red car. It doesn't have a door handle, but it does have a door button. It's like a cockpit. When it was designed with an F-15 cockpit in mind, and the manufacturers at General Motors looked at Lamborghinis and McLarens and Ferraris and came up with this new version of the Corvette, the 8th version, so it's called the C8. It's got the engine behind the car, behind the front seat. And let me get in and show you a button or two. It's like getting in a cockpit, really. You gotta slide in here and pull in your legs. Gonna have to close the door for a minute and put on my seatbelt before anything happens. This version happens to be a convertible, and it's a hardtop convertible. So I'm going to push a button here and show you how that little devil works. All kinds of neat motors back there. And when everything gets in place, you can see it's all done. So it's a hardtop convertible. This is a 2021 version. The C8, or the new version, came out in 2020. It took me 2 years in line to get it. So I took delivery of it about a year ago in July 7th, as a matter of fact, of 2021. So it's got the engine right behind the seat here, which means it's got a trunk in the front, it's got a trunk in the back, it's got a top speed of 200 miles an hour. So if we need to get to Home Depot like 5 minutes before it closes, I can be there in 45 seconds. It'll go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, and it's got just about 500 horsepower. So there's no real reason to have a car like this other than I just wanted one all of my life. So it's a neat car. You can see the front seat is like a cockpit. So if you're the driver, you're in pretty good shape. If you're the passenger, there's not a lot to look at because everything just curves around the driver. The steering wheel is a square, which allows you a little bit of leg room, but also allows you, it's just a neat feel. It's completely different. It's got a manual transmission, which is done by these little paddles here, and it also has an automatic transmission. So it's just a neat car, and I'm glad I was able to bring it here and show it to you as part of my interview. Sorry, I don't have a pet. This is the best I can do. There are really some incredibly diverse and unique animals. in the shop as I walk around. The tarantulas and the scorpions I find particularly intriguing, especially after they molt. But I think two of my favorites are probably the chameleon, not only the way its eyes kind of look in different directions and its prehensile capability, but also there is the slinky green python, or I think it's a python out there that I think we call slinky for that matter. And it just the way it wraps around the tree branches that we have in its environment. And when I watch some of the plant care specialists working with that, it just looks so nice and quiet and docile, but it's a particularly aggressive snake. And when it's time to feed or clean, everybody needs to be a little bit careful. So I'd say between the chameleon and that green tree python, those are my two favorites. I have a great number of hobbies. I said earlier I work here a bit, and then I have some free time. So I enjoy working in my yard, not just in the garden, but trees and shrubs, the lawn, landscaping, so I call it gardening. That takes up a good amount of my time. In semi-retirement, I just love to read. I've got stacks of books that I'll read, particularly in the evening after the sun is down and I can't be outside much anymore. I particularly enjoy over the years playing racquetball. It's a great sport, helps keep you fit in a short period of time, although I haven't played it in many years. I enjoy riding a bicycle around the different areas that we have here in O'Fallon, particularly out in the rural communities. I enjoy politics, which is just a little bit different from what people see as hobby, but as our world has changed over the past 8 to 10 years, that's become a particular interest to me. And I also enjoy art. I like going to art fairs, not just paintings or art like you might see on the wall behind me, but as people do sculptures or they work with ceramics or glass. I just particularly enjoy the way people can be creative in what they do with their hands. One of my fascinations is a TV show which is Meekum Auto Auctions, and you can see how somebody will take an older car and just with their talents of welding, sheet metal, electronics, fabrication, interior, engine work, take something old and make it look absolutely beautiful as a work of art. So those things are really fascinating. I think one of the things I enjoy most about any job, and this is particularly true at Tye-Dyed, is the culture that gets created by the people that are in charge, whether it's a corporate office somewhere or here at a small business, whether it's the ownership. So this is a very eclectic group of employees. I probably am the most senior to the best of my knowledge based on age, but they run all the way down to teenagers. Who may be working in camp or doing some other things here in the volunteer capacity. So how you create that culture, how you make people want to come to work, not that they have to come to work, and how you allow them to express their own creativity, come up with their own ideas, is something that I find important in any work environment. And it's particularly unique here at Tye-Dyed. If you're a customer, you might sense that from the outside, but if you work here, you can certainly sense it from the inside. As I mentioned, it's an eclectic group of people, and everybody has their own humorous moments, and some of them are creative. I'll give you an example. A year or so ago, there was whoever has the best beard contest. I found that particularly hilarious because there weren't beards. These are just guys that don't shave. You know, there's a lot of facial hair going on, nothing groomed, just lots of hair. I found that quite humorous. Occasionally you'll see on Facebook or through other media folks working their dance moves. No one here at Tye-Dyed can dance, and you will see that readily evident if you ever happen to watch that particular clip. But when they're given the opportunity, they will just step out and groove. And there are a few folks, and I certainly won't use names, who are very good at self-deprecating humor. If they do something silly, if they do something really stupid, they will mention it to us, and they have the great capability to laugh at themselves. And humor is one thing, but to be able to use humor with and against yourself is pretty remarkable, and we have several folks that do that quite well here. So fun facts about me. I've got a bunch of grandkids I've lost track, and I absolutely love them all. I mentioned earlier that I ride on my bike, and not too long ago there was a cycling event here in the area, and I went out and did a portion of that, which was 45 miles long. I don't think I've ever ridden my bike for 45 miles. That was great fun. I am a veteran, and some people will know that, and many people will not. My gray hair indicates that I did that a while back. I am a Vietnam veteran and had the opportunity to serve over there as the Vietnam War was winding down. I guess finally a couple other fun facts might be that I have skydived before. That wouldn't necessarily recommend that to everybody, but that was a pretty exciting experience. And I think as it comes to fun facts, that are probably the things that maybe some folks don't know about me. I'll add one other thing. I actually started my professional career after I graduated from college as a public school teacher in the elementary school, K through 6. Had a great time with the little kids.